Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. Just before we really get into things, want to make sure that we are tuning in loud and clear for y'all. So if you wouldn't mind jumping into chat and letting us know if you can see and hear us.
Oh, yay.
So
Thanks for that,
fast.
guys. Letting us know we can see and hear us. Great.
Okay, this is great. All right. Well, hello. My name is Christopher.
And I'm Maya, and I'm our social media marketer. So I feel like I say this every time I come on one of these things, but you've probably seen me on our social media. So that's where you'll find me.
Yeah, and I'm responsible for content marketing. So I might pop up in your email or some videos, and of course these monthly webinars that we do. Today we are going to be talking about exploring the value and pitfalls of holiday posting. We'll be doing some working through some examples, some real life stories for you all. We'll be exploring how you can get more out of your holiday posting with Cloud Campaign. We'll be doing some Q&A, and we'll also be doing some just like group interactive, group session too. But before we get any further, if you tried to tune in yesterday, we are so sorry. I had a miss up on our scheduling, and this was the intended date, but I communicated the wrong information. So please humbly accept my forgiveness. I grovel before you humbly, and you have my sincerest apologies. We do not want to waste your time, and we do appreciate you signing up and joining and attending for these webinars. So thank you so much for that and for your patience and understanding, and for joining us once again. All right, just a quick check-in on the chat. Cool. All righty. So we're going to be going over lots of stuff today. We're also going to be sharing with you our latest piece of content, our latest tool. It's our 2023 social media content calendar. So we'll be going through some of that today, and we'll be sharing the link for you to you all after this, as well as the recap email, which will contain the recording of our discussion today. All right. Are there any questions before we begin? Maya, do you have anything you want to add?
Nope, just that I'm excited to talk about this topic today. As like a social media marketer myself, I enjoy this topic and think it's interesting to hear different people's opinions. So definitely want to say, like, if you guys have opinions or thoughts or experiences, definitely let us know. And we are thinking about bringing people up on stage to talk about that as well, if you guys feel comfortable with that. So if you guys have a good story that relates to what we're talking about, definitely let us know in the chat, and we'll try to bring you up to talk about it, because we want to know what your experience is and what your thoughts are about the topic today.
Yes, thank you for reminding that. This is an open discussion as well. So if you have just a fun war story or some relevant experience you want to share, or somebody has a question and you want to work it out, we can bring up to 4 folks onto stage, so we can have some group discussion around that, which we're really looking forward to. So please don't be shy. You also, I believe, you have the option to keep your camera off. So if you want to just join on audio, totally fine. No judgment from this side. With that, let's just get into it. So Maya, you recently wrote a blog post, just kind of diving into holiday posting. So I would like to pull out some of the value there, because you covered a lot of really great points. The first question I want to ask is, should folks be spending their precious time and energy like making holiday content?
Yeah, so I feel like most of my questions like this will always start with, it's going to depend, and it's going to be different for everybody's businesses and what company and what you guys decide to use your time on. But personally at Cloud Campaign, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. We just try to look at each holiday and think about it in different ways. But when it comes to that kind of stuff too, like, there's different kinds of holidays, and I feel like that's something we should start by preferencing, that we're going to be talking about, is like, we're going to be talking about like national holidays. We got Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, I don't know, Valentine's Day, 4th of July. There's all those like basic ones that are always going to be on your calendars. But there's also like social media holidays is kind of how I refer to them, especially in that blog post. Those are the days that are like National Donut Day or World Social Media Day. Yeah, like the random little ones, and there's one for every single day, every day of every year. So those are kind of the 2 different holidays we'll be talking about. So yeah, I'll refer to those kind of more silly ones that are every day as social media holidays, just so they're clear on that. The other ones I'll just call them like national holidays. So I think those are different kinds of posting too. And I do talk about all that in the blog too. So if any of this is confusing, you guys can read that for kind of more concise wording. um, but yeah, so I think there's value in each of those, and you kind of have to just decide if there's value for your company in those. If you don't want to associate with any religion or anything like that, it's kind of always good to be like cautious of holidays that are associated with religion. And so, when it comes to Christmas, I think in the last 10 years we have been seeing a switch from everyone just being like Merry Christmas on everything to being like Happy Holidays. And that is a simple shift that is showing, we're being more conscious of everyone and their different holidays and associations and religious affiliations and all of that stuff. So I think that's really nice and considerate, but especially as a brand, we need to be thinking about all that kind of stuff. So that's step number one, make sure we're thinking about all that stuff being appropriate and, authentic with our brand and what we represent. So that's kind of something to worry about with national holidays more of the time. But with social media holidays, I mean, you can be just so silly with those and all over the place. You can make it serious if you want. You can make it just super silly. There's literally social media holidays for all of those, like all encompassing. So yeah, if you guys want to do some of those, I think that's kind of like less stress, maybe like a good opener into like holiday content, preparing for a big branding campaign or something. So
Dipping your toe in the water a little bit.
yeah, I feel like that's a good, thing. Like I started here as an intern and I got into social media marketing from being an intern. So I will say like maybe that's the job you give to the intern, or at least a thought project. Maybe you give your marketing intern, be like, what holidays do you think associate with our brand? And why would you do that? Or your new hire or something. I think that's a good way to gauge what they think about the company.
Well, let me ask you this, because I think I appreciate your sort of like bifurcation of, separating the major holidays, like national holidays or international holidays,
Yeah.
or religious ones, and, the more observational, because a lot of them are observational too, like, Cancer Awareness Day or, Autism Awareness Day. So having that sort of like, segmenting out is great. But when you're actually considering, taking on holiday content like this, what like specific factors are you considering when you're making posts, for Cloud Campaign or for, a brand?
Yeah, I think there's a lot to take in with that. And you kind of have to be really in touch with your branding and what your business is all about, what morals and values your company has. I feel like that's probably like step number one. And like determining what holidays you should post for. I do think there is kind of almost pressure to post on national holidays. To have that Thanksgiving post that's like, hey, we're thankful for all of you guys, or I feel like sometimes there is pressure for that. But if it
You might have
really,
seen a Thanksgiving email from Cloud Campaign in the last week in your inbox.
yeah,
Speaking of
but
which,
yeah, and I made a social media post too, and we decided to do that as our marketing team because we thought it did, represent our values and our morals, because we are thankful for our customers, and I feel like we kind of did it in a less cheesy way. I feel like we still added value
you
by
tell
those
us, listeners, if that was the case.
yeah. Um, in my opinion, I feel like I was like, okay, so the social media post I did was pretty lighthearted. It wasn't, trying to pull on your heartstrings or anything, but it was just about how our team and what our team is thankful for, because when we post content about our team and our culture, it does pretty good. So that's really the basis of why me and my manager decided I should make that post. But I kept it lighthearted. It wasn't, trying to get you to buy our product. It was just talking about our team, because that content does well for us.
Mm-hmm.
And the marketing email, I think, was, more of like the other side for that, like letting people know, like, we care about them, we care about their thoughts. And maybe you can speak more on that, Chris, like how you felt your email resonated.
Yeah, well, because we also take the approach. I mean, I know we're talking about holiday posting, and maybe that's focused a lot around social media, but I think if you're a marketer, a content marketer, or just like a digital marketer, your content always blends and spills over to other channels, which is appropriate. So, we had the social media message that we adjust to that audience and to that channel. And the email side of things is just wanting to share genuine appreciation for, you all listening, our customers, the people that support us. That includes our family, our pets. It takes a lot to run a company, and a company that's rapidly growing. So, there's a lot to be grateful for. So sometimes it's like, yeah, you just issue the sales call and you just show a human side of your brand because it matters. And like, we are all very passionate people that work here. I'm sure everyone, listening and tuning in home are very passionate about their brands and the brands that they manage and their audiences. So it's okay to, and you should embrace, if it's relevant to you, those opportunities to share human moments.
Yeah. And so like we thought like Thanksgiving was kind of one of those days that was appropriate to kind of give that side of our perspective and share that thanks with our customers and stuff. So that's kind of how we approached Thanksgiving, and the time of being thankful, and sharing that with our customers in a marketing way. But yeah, so I know I also posted on, to get out of like national holidays and kind of switch back to more of those like social media holidays, just to give both sides of that from our perspective. I made a post on social media, World Day or World Social Media Day. Something like that. It was like June 30th, I believe, or towards that time in the summer. And I just made that one really lighthearted. I think I made a Canva post of me looking on my phone at Canva post and
That's
trying
meta.
to find a social media day post to post. So it was very like layered in that. And I thought that was kind of funny. And I thought our audience was our social media marketers or, people in this space would also kind of relate with that. Like, okay, let me type in Canva this holiday to find holiday content to post and stuff. And so sometimes a lot of that Canva stuff is, I would consider maybe more filler. But I kind of thought of it a way to turn the filler content maybe kind of more impactful or more thoughtful, which as a marketer, I feel like that is how we should be using Canva, like as inspiration, not just a template all the time, taking it, making it your own, making it relate to your audience and your brand, not just, whatever the people at the designers at Canva made.
Yeah. Bailey had a quick question about that, actually. Do you get a lot of likes or feedback from those kinds of posts?
Yeah. So I can't remember exact metrics or anything off the top of my head, especially from the social media one, because it was over the summer. I don't think it
Only a
did very
lifetime
good.
ago.
Yeah, I honestly don't think it did very good, but I was still proud of it. Like, not everything I associate is with obviously like the metrics or Randy metrics or anything. I think it helps build our brand as people who are marketed towards marketers. I feel like it resonated with that kind of audience. So even if it didn't get our most liked, I still thought it brought value. I also was still learning our brand. And so that was kind of me dipping my toes into understanding Cloud Campaign more in our audience. So that piece was kind of like foundational, kind of building on that learning I was understanding,
What would you do differently if with sort of, the more brand experience, more
Yeah.
just like, posting experience and such? What would you do differently?
So yeah, for like if I was doing it this summer, I don't know. Honestly, this is gonna be like, I don't know, maybe you guys will understand, but maybe I'd do a video. I mean, video engagement is more, or carousel. I know carousel's been doing pretty good on Instagram. I'm kind of thinking with Instagram in mind about that. But yeah, I don't know. Probably do it in a different format than just a basic static post. Maybe I think I actually liked the caption too. I think I made the caption like meta too, kind of like pull into it. But yeah, maybe I'd do something a little bit more engaging, and that same idea, like maybe be me actually going into Canva and finding it and then making it, or the thought process behind that post, or maybe like how I'm explaining it now. Maybe that would be a good way to go about it as well. So maybe just making it a bit more engaging, because I was trying to just, build our audience and let them know like that we understand their viewpoint, because I'm also doing the same things that they're doing.
Right.
So it's a better way to show that, I guess.
And that makes sense because, I feel like we have to be selective on the holidays we want to be, whether they're national holidays or observable days that we want to attach ourselves to. But like for us, Cloud Campaign, World Social Media Day makes perfect sense. And so you can actually go a little deeper on that type of content in terms of creating some short form video content, maybe even like a small little blog post or something that if it really embodied your brand's values and you thought there would be some traction there. Whereas like for Thanksgiving or Christmas, you might not do anything because it's just not the holidays don't necessarily build a foundation for your brand. They don't have to be synergized like that, and that's okay too.
Yeah, I love that you said that too, because that is like super important when it does come to deciding how much time you want to spend on this kind of holiday. So yeah, like World Social Media Day makes so much sense for us as a brand, but maybe Christmas necessarily doesn't. Not all of our customers maybe be Christian or celebrate that holiday, and so I don't think we need to spend all of our time on that holiday, even though there may be pressure from the American environment that we are in to do that. So it is interesting sometimes to think about that and think about those holidays. I know I have in the blog and in our 2023 social media calendar, I talk about Charlie's Cheesesteaks, and they did a post on National Cheese Fries Day, I believe is the day in April.
Yes.
And I think that's perfect. They're Charlie's Cheesesteaks. They literally have cheese in their name. They have amazing cheese fries. They attached a beautiful, delicious, cheesy fry video to this post.
Oh my God,
So it
stop.
makes so much
I'm getting hungry.
yeah, like it makes so much sense for them to post about that. Like it makes sense for us as a social media company that's our focus to post about social media. So I feel like thinking about it in those sometimes, like those simple campaigns can mean so much to your brand.
Oh, Maya, I think we might have lost your audio for a moment. If you wouldn't mind just giving us a quick little check.
Yeah.
While we do that, Damien had a cool story. Got over 1,000 engagement plus 50 followers and 70 shares from creating a reel about Native American Heritage Day. Damien, sorry, would you like to come on for a moment and just kind of share what went into that post? Like, just what was your intention and strategy behind it? Feel free to decline. We don't want to put you on the spot, but if you'd like to share just a little bit of what it took to kind of create a piece of content around an observable day from another perspective, we'd love to share it.
I'd also be curious if you connected it to your brand or you're just bringing awareness to the holiday and what kind of approach you had for it, if you want to share.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'll keep moving on and give Damien a moment to respond. Do you want to cover just some pros and cons of holiday posting before we dive into some other stuff?
Yeah, of course. I am going to read this off a list because I do have this in a list, but can't elaborate. So let's look at the pros we have really quickly. So some pros that I think for posting about holidays is that you can create an emotional connection with your audience. I feel like that is huge. I feel like that also connects to building the brand. You're letting your customers know that your brand elicits this certain emotion. Build your community more. Also, social media traffic increases during the holidays. I saw a stat about this. I'm not just making that up. And I think that is related to like this time of the year, like November, December, early January time, because like there is so many of these big holidays happening. So I think that's in reference to this time, but can also, go to other days. National Pickle Day, I saw had a lot of stuff going on, at least on my personal Instagram page. If you saw that Hay post.
Love the pickles, yeah.
Anyway. So that's one. You have an opportunity to be creative and engage your audience, kind of touch on that. And it can be used as a catalyst for promotion or campaign. So I was just talking about Charlie's Cheesesteaks, and they actually did a contest, and it was like, share with us, I forget exactly, but it was like, share with us something about, if you're going to come in and get cheesesteaks, if you want these or whatever, and you can win free cheese fries. So it's just a way for them to engage with their audience and, celebrate the holiday. I mean, what is like a $4 thing of cheese fries, so giveaway. So this can make it like, more impactful, I think. So then going to the cons, if it's done wrong, it can come off disingenuous. That is definitely something we want to avoid, especially now in the day of authentic marketing. People want to connect with you one-on-one. So you definitely don't want to come off disingenuous. So make sure the holidays that you are supporting and posting about connect with your brand and your morals and your values, and that, there's not going to be easy holes to poke in that, because people will come for you. Cancel culture is real. So just be careful with that as marketers. I'm sure you guys are. There's more competition in the space during holidays.
And just like sorry, Maya, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but just like, I'm sure we've got some experienced marketers here, but like one thing that I've learned is like, if there's any like small sense of doubt in your gut, just err on the side of caution and don't, versus risking it, because the damage that can be done, it can be hard to come back from that.
Yeah,
and more effort too.
Yeah, to come back. And I 100% agree with that. And right now in the news, everyone's talking about Balenciaga. And it's not around a holiday. I don't think it's just around their campaign and how they've just been messing up in their marketing. Yes, Kayla, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's just kind of like, why did that get approved? Why did that happen? If you don't know, I'm just going to briefly reference it. You can always look into it. But it's basically like Balenciaga has been having some weird campaigns about, the products involving children, and weird court cases in the past involving children in not good ways. And they had like children holding teddy bear purses, I think they were, that had like bondage on. Very weird stuff. They were trying to be edgy. It's too edgy. The items were not made for children. It was made for adults. So I don't know why I don't know. It's controversial, obviously. I saw they deleted everything from their Instagram.
The internet's
And
forever, folks. Delete all you
yeah,
want. That stuff's out there.
all their stuff on Instagram just have an apology post on there right now, which is just crazy. So learn from those big guys. I mean, they get a lot of attention, so they need to wield it carefully. They're trying to be edgy, if just too edgy.
My word.
In the wrong way. So someone that is small, like, smaller companies, mid-size, it could really like ruin. Yeah. So just be careful. Like Chris said, if it's in your gut.
Yeah, we might carve out some time later for best marketing fails. If you have any fun stories you're willing to share, again, you don't have to be on camera. You don't have to share your true identity. That's fine. Okay, so those are some great pros and cons. Were there any other ones that we?
Okay, the last one kind of ties to that. It's like it just can be difficult to know what holidays to post without coming off exclusive to like, if your brand is only posting Christian holidays, but you also have an audience that is not Christian, you need to be considerate of your whole audience, even if maybe that doesn't affiliate with you, or unless your brand is connected to religion. Like I would say Chick-fil-A, in my mind, at least, from all their controversies related to religion. So I could see them maybe not posting about other ones. They should, because not all their customers are. But just something to be considerate about, not only like with religion, but just like areas and geography. And like, if you're in the UK, I don't really see you posting about Thanksgiving, but maybe like be aware that a lot of people may think about Thanksgiving. So just, always being aware.
No, that's really, it's really, really important to have those cultural awarenesses, those sensitivities. And not to really like dive in. I want to keep this conversation inclusive to everybody, but like in the case of Chick-fil-A that might have certain religious preferences for their business, one way to collaborate or to observe other holidays outside of that, or just like we celebrate with our Hebrew brothers and sisters during this week of Hanukkah. So you can do things and still come off as like genuine and have a message of, inclusivity that way, even if your main belief or preference is this, that could be a good way to approach it. The other thing that I just want to maybe like, I guess I don't want to spend too much time on, but I think it's an interesting subject, is sort of this like tying your brand to like stances or causes or religions or things like that. And that's, certainly a personal choice, but I know that, a lot of the folks listening are managing brands or managing people who might have those preferences. They themselves might not have those preferences. So really having those conversations of whether or not that is important to those brands that you manage, and if they do want to see those types of messages proliferate through their social feed, and then, really focusing on those conversations of how to do that in a very genuine, inclusive, tactful, courteous, all the other adjectives that make it okay way.
And yeah, like that's what makes a social media's job like way more complex, I think, than a lot of people realize. And it isn't always for the intern, because we have to think about all of this stuff. And if we mess up, we can really mess up. So it is important to, have all these thoughts and to know that your job is important, even though some people only think it's for interns. So I saw Mandy, you commented about a fail that you had with an agency.
I do want to hear this.
I would love to hear about that if you would like to come and tell us about what happened.
You just let us know, Mandy.
Yeah, would love to know about that.
All right. Well, while we give Mandy okay. All right, Mandy, you're coming on stage. Give me just a second.
Yeah, and feel free. You can have your camera on or off. It's up to you, whatever you're comfortable with.
Mandy, you should get a little pop-up.
Yay.
Hi,
Hey.
welcome.
Hey.
Thanks. Okay, this one it's really, really small, but it's really, really funny because it's a typo that I make regularly when I'm fast typing. But it was a book launch for one of my clients that's an author. And in the copy, in caps, I wrote is not a number one
no.
bestseller instead of now.
Bravo.
The post was live for about 8 minutes before we pulled it and reposted it. But that's the best one that I've done, and it's one letter, but such a huge impact.
Big impact. What did the author? Were they okay about it? Did they take it in good stride, or did they know about it, or what happened?
I don't think he even noticed. But my team was like, "Oh my god, take it down, take it down, take it down."
Oh my god.
Oh, I see a comment on Grammarly. Yeah, I didn't have Grammarly.
Well, sometimes
that time,
in that case too, like if the word is correct and maybe the syntax is sometimes I use Grammarly. I have a pro subscription because I love it and writing is like my job. But there are some times where you just gotta look and it doesn't catch those types of things. Oh my gosh.
And then when you're like reading through content, your brain will automatically correct as well. So you have to really go by like word by word. One of the coolest tips that I ever got was read it out loud. And that will like force you to notice errors. So I sit here a lot. I work from home. My team's all over the place. And I'm sitting here talking to myself because I'm reading all of the content out loud to try
That's
to
a good one. Reading it backwards too helps me. Because then I'm taking the context out of the sentence and I'm just looking at like spellings and stuff. But Julie also mentioned that Grammarly can check for tone now too. So hopefully it won't happen to us again. Mandy,
maybe I'll.
Thank you so much for being brave and sharing that story with us.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, I'm gonna kick you off stage.
All right.
As soon as I figure out how.
My Wi-Fi is being a little weird, so I'm not seeing the update in the chat. So Chris, if you don't mind to watch the chats for me since mine's not working.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. All right, so let's dive into maybe like one or two quick examples on some really good holiday content that we can reverse engineer. Or if you personally have written a great piece of holiday content that's performed well, we'd love to hear you talk about it. Damien, still waiting. Yeah. Damien's ready. I saw in the chat. So let's dive into that. We'll bring Damien on stage. He can tell us what went into his successful Reels post. And then we'll share an example and then we'll move on. Damien, I got you. Give me just a moment.
I wish my chat would update. I want to see what you guys are saying. I'm sad.
Oh. Sorry. Oh no,
it's just full of Aaron's laughy faces right now. That's the only thing I can see.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. Give me just a moment, Damien, while I invite you onto stage. Damien, are you on mobile by chance? I'm thinking that you might be, which unfortunately prevents us from inviting you onto stage. So I apologize for that after building up this story. But if you do have a chance to connect on a desktop, we can bring you on. Otherwise, Maya, do you want to dive into a piece of content that we want to kind of reverse engineer?
Yeah, sure.
And then Damien, just let us know if you are able to switch over, and we'll get you on after.
Sure. So do we want to look at the 2023 calendar?
Yeah, let me pull that up. Oh, okay. That's okay, Damien. All right, so I'm going to pull up our piece of content that we'll be sharing with you a little bit later. It's our holiday calendar. And from that, we're going to pull up an example.
Yeah. So we're going to be giving you a resource with national holidays and social media holidays. So
look at that.
You don't have to search for them yourself.
Okay, which one should I go to, Maya?
We can go to the first one. That's it, after January. So this is what we've been doing at work. this week.
And just want to make sure that everyone can actually see the document. Okay.
I can see it.
Okay. I appreciate you, but you don't. In this case, you don't count. We need everyone else to see it. So if you wouldn't mind in the chat, if just letting us know. Okay, thanks, Bruce. Okay, so we got National Puzzle Day. Tell us.
What a day! what a great holiday to celebrate.
I do not like puzzles. Yeah. I will not be celebrating this holiday.
Okay, you don't have to. But yeah, so like this is a day that's kind of just like, okay, National Puzzle Day. Like maybe your grandma loves puzzles. I don't know. You may not, but looking at it through a branding perspective and trying to be creative and make value out of one of these social media holidays. I got on TikTok and I was just seeing what was going on there. And I saw these two posts. I think the SpongeBob one from Nickelodeon was the number one. And I scrolled down a little bit and found this Green Bay Packers post. And when we shared, look at these TikToks, if work.
Sorry, we lost we lost you for just a second there. I think you were saying that you can click
Can you hear me now?
Images to actually go into those posts to see the examples. Is that right?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Am I back
loud
in?
and clear. I think we lost you when you were talking
about
sorry. Clicking on the image posts.
Okay. Yeah, so if you go into this document that we're going to share, you can click into them and watch the videos. You don't really necessarily need to watch the videos. I can just talk about them because my Wi-Fi is not being amazing. But so basically the SpongeBob one just is them putting together a SpongeBob puzzle, and their caption is basically just like, what's the first SpongeBob character you saw or whatever. The Green Bay Packers one is simply them just putting together this 3D puzzle. But I think these are unique ways to share a brand. They're, Nickelodeon's obviously talking about one of their hit cartoons, and obviously the Green Bay Packers are trying to let everyone know they have a puzzle you can buy. I did not know they did puzzles for the NFL, but makes sense. They are marketing giants. So yeah, I think if you have a product that isn't a puzzle, great. If you don't, you can still celebrate these kind of small holidays in a creative way by, we are in the social media marketing world. So maybe we would do a puzzle that's like Instagram and TikTok and different social media platforms. And that could be our post for the social media. So it doesn't necessarily need to be of your product like these kind of are. It can be about the idea. And if you don't even have anything like that, you're more niche or something that isn't really a puzzle for you, maybe just your team building a puzzle and about your teamwork, your team culture.
Kaylee asks where we can find this document. Don't worry, we will be sharing this link at the end and also in the email recap for you all. So you will be getting this very shortly. Of course. And Maya, I'm sorry, we lost you just a little bit again. Sorry for the internet issues, folks. It happens to all of us.
It's on and off. Yeah.
Yeah. No problem, Bailey. Catch you later. Before we move on, sorry about that. Allison, if you can't hear us, we will be sending it soon. All right. Cool. So if there's anyone who has an example of some stellar content, holiday content that they've created that they do want to just quickly talk about, please let us know in the chat. We'll bring you on. As long as you're not on mobile, can't bring you on if that's the case. Sorry for that. But otherwise, we are going to push forward. So next we wanted to talk about, because a lot of folks here, you're following us on Cloud Campaign. You're most likely a Cloud Campaign user. So we did want to share, how we can tie some of this stuff together. So you've decided whether or not you want to post content for holidays, what that means to you and your brands or the brands you manage. So I want to give you some stuff that can make your life easier to actually put this content out into the world. So we have some key features that we just wanted to share with you to help with that. One of them, which is also contained in this spreadsheet document, let me just go back to my little share screen real quick, is if you don't use this feature already, Cloud Campaign does have a spreadsheet importer. And what that allows you to do is write out content on a spreadsheet. I've talked about this before in one of our other webinars and some of the other tutorial content that I've created, but it allows you to go through, create titles, link to your content, as well as the image, your captions, and then you can select, your approval if you have internal approvals for your team, whether or not you want the content to be recycled, the actual schedule date, a comment which would appear in your approvals section, which we'll talk about in a second, and any content categories that you have. The reason I love this so much is, I could be just chilling on the couch, watching Netflix with my wife and just banging out a bunch of, content ideas, and import them into Cloud Campaign and have them scheduled and ready to go pending approval pretty quickly and easily. And I'm not sure how much you've been able to use this feature, but I've been able to schedule like months worth of content just by using this tool, which I love. And
cool.
When it comes to holiday content, it's like, okay, I'm in holiday mode. I've got all these holidays that I want to create content for. You could create a year's worth of holiday content on a spreadsheet, and kind of just work in this, maybe not as attractive mode, but very useful design layout to create that content in bulk. Have it scheduled at the beginning of the year so you don't have to worry about it. Because I think the last thing any of us like is getting blindsided by a content request. Like, oh, it's this day tomorrow. Can you make a post? Like, wow, your calendars exist. We could have known about this a while ago. And Allison asks, do you have any docs showing how to use this spreadsheet or where we can find it? Yes, we do. So when you receive this document, there is a slide that will allow you to download the spreadsheet directly, and then a tutorial article walking you through exactly how to use it in depth. So you will be able to be a master of the spreadsheet and import content. And if you use it, let us know, because this is one of my favorite features and I want more people to be aware of it, because it's amazing how much content you can create in a very short amount of time. So that's enough about that. Maya, do you want to take the next thing?
Yeah, let's hope that my Wi-Fi holds up.
Yeah, so you've created all this bulk content. What's the next thing?
Yeah, so if you've gone and you've uploaded it now and it's in your content library and you're, thinking about getting it all together, let me share my screen and let's see. Oh, great. Okay, hold on. I have to jump through some hoops here, maybe.
Let me know if you need any admin support.
Okay, hold on. I'm having all the problems. Okay. Can you hear me, Chris? Am I
hear and see you loud and clear. All right, bear with us for just a moment, folks, while we do a little bit of tech troubleshooting. Appreciate your patience.
Oh, okay, my chat updated.
Am
I live now?
Back in action. Welcome back.
Okay, great. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to share my screen. Chris, if you could maybe jump on the Cloud Campaign and then just show the content library page. If
you got it.
Could do that. Okay. And basically I'm just gonna be showing you guys kind of categorization tags. I use these a ton because it kind of is the way that I've been able
Shameless
to
plug.
see
End of year sale. Save money by going annual, everyone.
So yeah, okay. Here's our content library page. You're gonna stay at the top to show them the tags. Okay, so cool. If you, stay right there. So here you can see our tags. So these are our personal tags that we have set up, either me or Chris or whoever has set these up. And so I have different ones, like maybe one's about TikTok, like it's TikTok focused, because then I want to go and look at the analytics and see if our TikTok focused content does good. And I also have our 4 pillars in here, like entertainment, education. But I also have holidays. Okay, I think I'm back again. I'm so sorry. This keeps happening, everyone. But I also have holiday ones. So I have our social media holidays in here. And then I also have, I think just like holiday focused. Yeah, that's the social media holidays one. So I put my monthly social media calendars in there. And then I have holiday content. So you saw our little post about this happening in there too. So I have some content in there about that. So I can then go to our analytics on the side, Chris, and then you can go to category. And you can see like if these are performing. So you can kind of see I have some stuff in here like my blog content, I guess, was really engaged with this. I have entertainment on there. So Chris can go even looking just at Instagram. You can see obviously our culture stuff does good. So there's different spaces in here where you could see the holiday content isn't ranking, which that's okay because it's just like the monthly stuff pretty much. Or, oh, it is over here on engaging. Their social media holidays is up there. So you can see like, okay, that is doing pretty good. Like it's decent engagement. So by using those tags, you can see what kind of content is doing well and, you know, kind of base off that. And you can make it really refined or not. So yeah, that's kind of like a good way to go about holiday content. If you're kind of thinking, is it right for you? You can kind of see how engaging it is.
Yeah, and I love doing this stuff like this to be able to run content experiments. You know, just to like batch and group your content, like Maya said, so you can see like, is it going to serve you? Like, do you either need to kill off the, you know, that type of content, or do you need to adjust something to maybe get the engagement you're looking for? Thanks, Maya.
Yeah.
All right. What about so, you know, we talked a little bit about this before. You're posting holiday content, but Twitter is different than Instagram, than emails, than, you know, TikToks, I guess. So can you talk us through the cross posting on different platforms?
Yeah, so I think Cloud Campaign is great about cross-posting. Obviously, we're a scheduling platform, so you can schedule same piece of content to all your platforms and it'll just push out to them. But we also allow you to go in and make content or platform-specific captions. You can do that when you upload something to the content library. You can just go in and click it, and there'll be a bar at the bottom. You can go to the different platforms. So that's like a really good way if you know, like obviously Twitter hashtags. So like you can put the holiday hashtag in there because a lot of these social media holidays do have hashtags associated with them. It's a really good way to get your content out there into that community of that holiday. So you could go in and do that. I do recommend making sure you check the hashtags on different platforms. I know like TikTok's hashtags can be way different than Instagram's hashtags. So always make sure I'm checking. If I'm doing a hashtag on platforms, I want to make sure it's appropriate on everyone because you never know what people may turn a hashtag or yeah. You just want to know what's going on that platform with that hashtag. So sometimes if you know like that's really good on a lot of them, but not good on something else, you can go in there and you can make sure that one platform doesn't have the hashtag or has a different hashtag. So it's a good way to go.
And if you're not sure what we're talking about when we say platform specific captions, let us know. We can pop back into Cloud Campaign and kind of just show you what we're talking about. If you want to see what that feature actually looks like in action. Otherwise, the last thing in terms of holiday content, you know, you've researched, you've tried to do your due diligence to make sure everything aligns with your brands, value, your audience. You've maybe used a bulk importer to create a bunch of content in Cloud Campaign. You've organized it using categories. I guess the last piece would be getting that content approved, which is also, I think, one of our other favorite features that at least I like about Cloud Campaign, and most of our customers do too, is the approvals. So I do this for all content I create. I love to have another set of eyes on it. It's just good to have another perspective, quality control, inclusivity and sensitivity, typos, grammar, context. All of these things are incredibly important, especially when you're representing your brand or someone else's brand. You're creating content for them. So Maya, I don't really I'm not super into Christmas, but I love Krampusnacht. So I created some content around one of my favorite holidays. Could you approve it? Take a look at it and prove it?
Yeah.
I'll share my screen.
Yes. Please,
yeah.
Thank you.
So give me just a second.
And we'll look at that.
All right. You all can tell me what you think of my holiday content too. Okay. We are back into Cloud Campaign. So typically what we would do is we'd go and create an approval. We've got this approval link here for Krampusnacht. If you're not familiar with this is an old pagan holiday that the Krampus would follow Saint Nick around, and he would be sort of instead of Saint Nick giving the coal, it would be this creature that would torment the children if they're being naughty.
Lovely.
This is how they do it in Europe.
So yeah, and I have the same page pulled up on my own. So I'm, looking at it, I'm reviewing it. I'm, gonna leave Chris my thoughts. So I am pushing the comment button. It's taking forever to load because my Wi-Fi is not happy with me today. But then, okay, it posted. So Chris, you should be able to refresh the page and see what I thought.
Let's refresh. Oh man, well, fine. I guess that's fair. But if you, if Scary Monsters was part of your brand, or you did want to be contrarian, certainly you could consider Krampusnacht. Yeah, if you're actually trying to create approvals, it is super easy. Just in the approval section of Cloud Campaign, there's just a little segment over here, new approval, new Krampus. You would select your holiday content. The cool thing is if you're creating a lot of holiday content, and this is why I like categorizing and organizing the way Maya suggested. If I want to just pull up all of that holiday content and add it to that approval, it's easy to do just by selecting that category. Yeah, so we can create all of these approvals. I could spell on live. And that gives you a nice tokenized link that you could then access pretty much anywhere. If you're on mobile browser, your clients can just log in. They don't even need an account to be able to go in and leave comments on this content or approve it. So it's a great way to rapidly create content and then get it scheduled and approved with less herding cats. Maya, do you have anything to add?
Yeah. No, I don't. I hope that those work-throughs can help you. Some of them you may have known, maybe you didn't know some of them. And I've really enjoyed our talk, and I really appreciate when people are interactive and join us and tell us, their experiences, because we're all marketers. I'm learning from you guys can learn from us. So really appreciate our community tapping in and talking to us.
Thank you so much. Before we wrap, I'm going to be sharing the link to the social calendar here in just a second. But I also wanted to open it up for any Q&A. So if you have any questions about just posting holiday content, if you just want a sounding board of maybe some content ideas, or even some strategies on how you can use Cloud Campaign to maximize your posting across your brands, just let us know. We'll spend a few moments opening the floor to that. If you are interested, here is the direct link to that download. So please help yourself. I will make sure that this is included in the email recap with the recording of this, so you'll have the access to that. In this document, you'll find the download, the spreadsheet template that we went over, as well as the tutorial on how to use it. So let us know if you have any questions there. Otherwise, we will be sending out a follow-up survey in that recap. If you could take just a few moments to fill it out, just to let us know how we did. If this content's valuable to you, we would really appreciate it. We really want to provide content and information that's going to help you. So just let us know if we hit the mark. For every completed survey, we do plant a tree, so it does a little good for the environment, as well as helping us create great content for you. So if there's not any other questions, thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you next month.
Bye, guys. Have a nice day.
Happy holidays.